Well, look at Willie McGinnis at right hand. Him and Monty Beisel, both fingers taped up. Can't imagine how hard it is to play, because you're an outside linebacker or a defensive player. You like to grab the jersey of the offensive player and throw them around. So that kind of takes it out of the equation.
Remember last year and all the changes in the secondary for New England? Well, the script is being rewritten again this year with Rodney Harrison out. And there's a man just signed this week, Arturo Freeman. Gus Scott out today. James Sanders injured in this game. First down carry. Michael Anderson. Wow, written down near the first down. Chad Brown and Roosevelt Colvin had a shot at him.
When you watch this Broncos offense, when these running backs run, the blocking's pretty good up front. At least gives him a chance. But it's about power, and it's about running tough. I said it earlier. They have 3 running backs. Mike Shanahan's willing to play them all. So it's a competitive situation. So you better get in there, and you better fight for a few extra yards, because you don't know when your next opportunity is going to come.
Denver driving right out of the locker room. Picking up just like they played the second quarter. And that's Anderson inching it across inside the 10. So McGinnis coming right back.
Well, look what the Patriots defense, the comparison, the last 2 games to today. The last 2 games, they gave up a lot of yards. Wow, they're on some pace, points allowed. And the big one, here it is. No takeaways. Last year, they would bend, but they didn't break. They got a lot of takeaways. They're doing neither this year.
Fake and throw to the end zone. Nope, outside the end zone. It's Lee with the catch at the 2. It just can't mesh as a unit with all these changes, it appears, on a consistent basis. It's hard to play when you're not even sure of the name of the guy that's lined up next to you.
Well, that's true, because you do need communication. You learn to work with each other. Look at Steven Alexander, the tight end coming across. Nobody covered him. They're fortunate there was a little pressure on Jake Plummer, or that was a walk-in touchdown to the tight end.
Wayne Starks, he's had a tough go of it today, but again, that secondary has been all reworked. Not a lot of help back there for him. Third down, they can get the first inside the 1. They get the touchdown instead with Mike Anderson. And a salute by the former Marine.
Just good, tough running up the front. Kyle Johnson leads the way. Tom Naylor, number 66, the center. From Foxborough, like you said, Jim. And
well, it's good for Anderson. He had one taken away off a review in the first half, and now the Broncos have 4 touchdowns by 4 different players. It's getting ugly here. 28-3, Denver.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Dedicated to the brave ones. To those who are determined. To those who never surrender. The ATP Masters Series continues from Madrid, starting Monday at the following times on Orbit ESPN.
النجم يحيى الفخراني
حيث أن المذكور غير مؤهل طبيا إذ أنه فاقد للعين اليمنى.
ربنا ما بينساش حد.
تمام يا فندم.
ونفذت الأوامر ست الشركة.
انت مش قلت عاوزني الأول عشان تبقى راسي براس بنت القبطان وادخل البحرية بعد التوجيهية؟
مش خايف عليكي، خايف منك.
ليه يا بابا؟
لأنه ابن العتال وأنتي بنت الكابيتان.
المرسى والبحار كل يوم في الأوقات التالية على قناة المسلسلات.
Is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Was another similar type play to Ashley Laley. Mike Anderson running hard, and Tatum Bell, every time he touches it, you hold your breath.
A little bit like Reggie Bush.
Good truth. Yes. Again, Hobbs thought about it and was advised by Bethel Johnson to forget about it. So we'll see what Brady and the Patriots have for the second half. They'll have the football for the first time at the 20 when we come back to the Mile High City.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
إذا كنتم من عشاق الدوري المصري
وعايزين تعرفوا كل حاجة عنه،
سواء كنتم مشتركين في أوربت أم لا، اتصلوا بهذا الرقم.
أنا ومدحت شلبي هنجاوب لكم على كل الأسئلة وعلى الهواء مباشرة.
مستنيين إيه؟
اتصلوا بينا خلال شهر رمضان المبارك كل يوم اثنين، هتلاقوا أجمل إجابات وأجمل حاجات، وكل سنة وأنتم طيبين.
Is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
And his story tonight on America's Most Watched Network on 60 Minutes. Patrick pass. Come out running, and how about pass shaken up in that first half a couple of times. He's still in the lineup. Let's go back down to Bonnie.
Well, Jim, the Patriots are in kind of a delicate situation with their running backs right now. They only had 19 yards rushing in the first half. Patrick Pass was out there on the last play, but suffered a right knee injury at the tail end of the first half. Now, the other back they have is Amos Zaraway. They signed him at the end of September. He's just learning the offense. Corey Dillon is dressed, but Bill Belichick decided not to play him because, as he told me, he can't go.
Second down, Brady. Fires over for Watson. What a breakup. Well played by the Broncos. Cox with the tip away.
Yeah, Tom Brady, really good throw to the outside. Jerome Cox just comes right underneath. And, you know, Bonnie Bernstein says, you know, what a situation they're in with their running backs. And, Jim, you and I talked about it at halftime. Tom Brady took some big hits in the first half. You got to be careful. You just can't let him stand back there and get beat up. Look at the total yards in the first quarter. Since then, they barely matched what they did in the first quarter.
They brought in, by the way, Russ Holstein to take the place of Mankins, and again, Brady hit after the release.
That was a big hit. He never saw it coming that time. Gets right up, though. Tom Brady, the one thing about him, Darren Williams, they're bringing a strong side blitz. This is a little uncommon. Usually it comes from the other side of the quarterback. It's caught Tom Brady, I think, twice today, not seeing him come. But Brady stays relaxed when he throws the football. That's why he has arm strength, and that's why he can absorb hits like that one from Darren Williams.
He's hit only 3 of his last 13 passes.
Darren Williams, boy, you could see rookie. He could be a playmaker.
The flags are thrown before the boot.
Delay of the game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still fourth down.
That ball by Miller, by the way, he went ahead and released it anyway. Ended up in the end zone.
He'll be asking for the trade right after the game.
Yes. What do I got to? What do I have to do to play for the Broncos?
I never have seen a punter have a bad day out here.
That would have been 79 yards. Of course, no reason to field it back there, but it's just a fun exercise nonetheless. How far can I throw it? How far can I punt it? See what he can do for real. He's already uncorked some big ones. This one can be returned. Another flag thrown. And Williams steps out at the 36.
I really don't know if we had a kick today where there wasn't a penalty.
I think there's nothing that slows the game down. Everybody's so concerned about how long does a game take, 3 hours, 5 minutes, etc. The special teams infractions slow it down more than any single element.
During the kick, holding 41 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Of course, what can you do about it? It is a penalty. Tom Brady again, it's been so frustrating for him. No time to operate. His team's down 28-3.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
The world's most renowned race courses, the most sought-after horses, the most prominent jockeys, and top prize money all come together. Horse racing now airing on Orbit.
Copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
At the 16 after the penalty, Tatum Bell. He adds 4 to his total. We've got an update, so let's send you right to New York. Greg Gumbel.
All right, Jim and Phil, in Oakland, the Raiders trying to stay within shouting distance of the Chargers. Lamont Jordan, his second touchdown of the day, this one from a yard out. The Charger lead is 27-14 as they start the fourth in Oakland.
All right, thank you, Greg. And in that first half, we understand Randy Moss a little shaken up and limited in action today. But the Chargers have really been moving it on the Raiders today. Bouncing back to Oakland with that touchdown. Here's 2nd and 6. And another 2 for Bell. Let's send it right back across the country to Greg.
All right, Jim and Phil, this will make old quarterbacks feel good. Off a Mark Brown interception, Vinny Testaverde, a 1-yard touchdown sneak. Buffalo's lead over the Jets is now 24-17 as they start the fourth.
All right, a good one going there. Thank you, Greg. And Curtis Martin over 100 today for the Jets in that game.
Everybody runs it on the Bills so far this year.
And another player shaken up. It looks like Mike Wright, backup defensive lineman for New England. And helmets hitting with Mike Wright. We'll be right back.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
No one plays the game like they do. For them, it's a way of life. Skills, thrills, attacking flair. That's what Brazilian football is all about. The Brazilian Championship now airing every Sunday live on Alegria Dia.
Telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent.
Beisel and Mike Wright, helmets colliding, and Wright knocked out momentarily and on the bench now for New England. Mike Anderson in the backfield for Denver on 3rd down and 5. Deflected, and that was in the area of Wolford. Wolford, yeah, it was not that close to an interception, but Colvin with the tip.
Looks like Roosevelt Colvin. Good job. Short drop by the quarterback. Read what they're doing. Jump up there. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. New England all over the short routes. Nobody was going to pick up the first down that time.
So this time the Broncos stall. 3 plays and out. It's in Sauerberg. Hunted against New England. Super Bowl 38 down in Houston. Number White with fair catch, 28-yard line. Tomorrow on CBS's all new, beginning with TV's best lineup of comedies, The King of Queens, the new hit, How I Met Your Mother, 2.5 Men, Out of Practice, and then Monday's #1 show, CSI Miami, plus The Late Show, David Letterman, all right here on the top network in the nation. 52-yard punt, and hallelujah, no flags on the punt. Look at the possessions on the New England side.
Yeah, this is another good chance. New England, the game kind of stalled there a little bit. Now they have a chance to maybe recapture something on offense. Big drive for them. They need to go down the field and score.
Play action, setting up the screen, and pass got held up briefly. In fact, it might be a hold call against the Broncos. He got tangled up talking about pass with Dimitrin Veal, number 97.
Nothing coming easy, though.
Holding, 97. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
And again, we talked about Mankins getting ejected from the game at the end of the first half. They've had to go rework an already reworked left side of the line that's missing Matt Light. And there is Hochstein, who comes in. Kazur, the rookie, has been playing the last 3 weeks. And look at the way now they line them up. Hochstein steps in at right guard. Kazur stays left guard. Left tackle is Kazur. Only a couple. No real ground game to speak of today for New England. They had a 12-yard scramble by Brady. 35 total rush yards today for New England.
Well, you have no ground game, and pass protection has been very spotty. And the wide receivers not having their best days, not getting away from the defensive backs of the Denver Broncos.
Second down and 8. Another quick hit as they tried to find Tim Dwight. It was Foxworth breaking it up.
Dominique Foxworth, Darren Williams, Carl Pema, 3 rookies, the 3 high draft picks for the Denver Broncos. All of them confident, especially Dominique Foxworth and Darren Williams. We talked to Darren Williams and he says, you know, I was confident. I came to Denver, went through my first mini camp. He goes, I reevaluated. I said, wow, I can play up in this place and maybe make it a contribution in the first year. And that's what he's done, now starting.
3rd and 8. Brady launches, looking for Dwight, has it, and shakes free inside the 20 and down at the 17. Sam Brandon brought him down. Might add, Foxworth broke up that last pass play. Champ Bailey, we saw him getting stretched out in the second quarter. Back into action after 2 weeks out with a hamstring. He is not in the game, has not returned. So there you see Foxworth, 22.
It's just a good read by Tom Brady. You saw John Lynch goes up to look for another receiver. Tom Brady just throws it over the top. And it's a really good throw because he knows, once again, when he throws it, he's going to the ground with another hit.
There you see it with their CBS stat tracks. 49 yards for Tim Dwight. Brady trying to go right back to him, and that one broken up by Lenny Walls.
Lenny Walls, I'll tell you what now, you got Champ Bailey, then you got your second-round pick, Darren Williams, on the other side right now. But when you need a third corner, this is Lenny Walls. He's tall, he knows how to play, and what I like about him, he's not afraid to take a chance. And when it's in the air, he can make the play on the football. So many corners now in the NFL, they can be all over the receiver, but the receiver always catches it. Lenny Walls is not one of them.
3 tight ends in for the Patriots, but a flag before the snap. They whistle it dead. This is the deepest penetration of the day for New
Prior
England.
to the ball being snapped, false start, 88, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Christian Fauria, who had come in along with Watson and Graham, the 3 tight end set. And Amos Zerouay with his first action of the second half. Sent out of the backfield on 2nd and 15. Denver looked like a little jumpy, but it got back. David Gibbons, just a couple.
Well, it's interesting too, as I watched Tom Brady on that play, how long he took, how composed he was. Mike Shanahan says, you know, I watched him win his first Super Bowl, and I went, he was okay.
Yeah.
You know, the last drive, that was the only thing he thought he did the whole day. The second Super Bowl, I go, wow, he's gotten a lot better. Then after last year, he goes, man, this guy is special. And he really just couldn't get over how well Tom Brady has thrown the football this year.
So that third Super Bowl, wow, that's all he could say. 3rd and 13. Coming in on him, has to release it.
Gerard Warren.
Broke right through, didn't he?
How about Gerard Warren? Cleveland doesn't want him. You hear all this stuff about him on the inside, that he's a bad guy. He comes to Denver. Mike Shanahan sits him down and says, look, it's over. New start right here. I don't care what they say. When you're going to come to this team, we're going to do drills. We're going to run sprints. I want you to be the first every single time. And he's done it, and he's made him a leader on the football team because he gave him those responsibilities.
38-yard try for Adam Vinatieri. And he gets the second field goal of the day for New England. Still 28-6 inside 6 minutes to go, third quarter.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Every year, every season, young players dream of making it to the next level. But the road is long and hard, and it all begins here. College football now airing every week on Orbit ESPN.
Is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Why they kick the field goal? Because it's 3 scores. 22 points, somewhere you go for 2. That's why you go ahead and get that on the board.
Charlie Adams stands back at the goal line for the Broncos, trying to win for the 5th week in a row. And Adams wisely takes a knee out to the 20 for Jake Plummer, who is having quite a day of it here. No interceptions now in his last 100 passes.
Well, when you look at Jake Plummer, you talk about what he does so well. He throws on the run as good as anybody in the league. So Mike Shanahan, hey, he's a good coach. Let's do what he does best. So they move him around and give him a chance to find the guys down the field.
He's thrown a couple of touchdowns today. He's 8 yards away from 25,000 passing yards in his career. That's near a perfect passer rating, 158.3 being perfect.
He's so scrutinized, it's really incredible.
Pass underneath the coverage to the 25 to Steven Alexander.
But the perception around the, everywhere, it's so negative. And I'm not saying anything bad, but our pregame show, every week we say, well, let's keep an eye on Jake Plummer. See if he can not make a mistake. And that's what people think of him. And since he's come to Denver, maybe if he'd have started here in Denver, he wouldn't be thinking that way, because sometimes the system you run, the players you play with, and mainly the coaches, can they get the best out of your talent? That's what determines what you are.
Second down and a gain of 2, a 3rd and 3 on the way. You saw the 27 touchdown passes last year by Plummer. That tied the team record here, tied the John Elway record. But moreover, he threw for almost 4,100 yards in that season a year ago, most in Denver history. Of course, to go along with the 27 touchdowns were 20 pass interceptions, but that has not been the story this year. In fact, that is quite a remarkable turnaround. He's going now on 16 quarters without throwing a pick.
Well, last year when he threw them in bunches.
Tatum Bell will erase some of the yardage gained earlier as Mike Vrabel makes a nice play, and that'll bring out the punting unit. You saw Steven Alexander hobble off before that snap.
Denver Broncos just looking for one drive. That's what they want. One time-consuming drive to end the game. They didn't do it last time. They missed it again this time. So the Patriots, they got to say, hey, one more shot.
No, they have not picked up a first down on those last 2 possessions. So Tim Dwight, who set up the field goal with a 49-yard catch, he's back with all kinds of thoughts of trying to break one here on the return, which he's done a number of times. Big attempt made on the block by Banta Kane. And out to the 27. Actually, that was pretty close to being blocked by Chad Brown. 62 yards, though, once Sauerbrunn was able to get it away. Here's the NFL.com poll. The best team in the NFC. You can vote. You can tell us. Cast your vote at NFL.com. Tampa Bay today going to 5-1. Quarterbacked the second half by young Christopher Sims as Brian Greasy went out with an injury.
I guess you want me to comment on that, don't you?
I wouldn't dare ask, but he did a fine job today. And there's a pass out to Givens to the 42, and that's a gain of 15.
Tom Brady has, just like last week, is throwing a lot of passes with people all around him. Big hit there. Here's another one. Gerard Warren falling on him. Courtney Brown, he wants a little action. Garrett Williams on a blitz. But he's hung in there, and sometimes if you hang in there long enough, the defensive pass rush, you get in rhythm with it, they get tired, and that's when you can start making some plays down the field.
Denver is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch.
They're going to challenge for the second time today what looked like initially a Givens reception. In the first half, they took away a 10-yard catch by Givens.
I didn't even notice that it could be challengeable. 1 foot down. Is the left foot in? Let's watch it here. Right foot.
Yeah, there's a graze there.
Was there?
I think so.
I know why Mike Shanahan challenged it. It's a good challenge because the momentum has gone away from his football team. You do whatever you can do to break it. If it's call a timeout, he sees an opportunity here, get a coach's challenge. Let's watch it again, see if we can see where the left foot hits the ground.
Looking for a little sweep here across the side.
Yeah, that looks like it could be.
There's certainly not enough evidence there to overturn it, to say that there's clearly not contact with the left shoe and the grass.
Jim, I think that'll be the deciding factor. Evidence. I've noticed you backed away from your original comment, so
about
not quite as sure as that foot did hit.
No,
the
that's
ground.
in. I have no doubt. I stand by the original statement.
Oh, okay. It's not like you. How's your fantasy team doing today, real quick?
Oh, the one on CBS Sports Line?
Yeah, Sports Line. You're always talking about it.
Phil Simms today, head-to-head.
Oh, we're playing each other?
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, I didn't even know that. And what's the score?
I wish the folks could see this little computer you have right in front of you today.
Oh, yeah, right.
Celebrating with every point.
Well, you know,
added to your tally. Let's just say, like the Patriots, the champions of a year ago.
Yeah.
The champion of our Guru League a year ago.
Don't compare yourself to Patriots.
Is having a tough go of it here.
Well,
Looks like a Sims conquest.
My man Chris Hatchett, he's my general manager. He did another fine job today.
Well, you got to take a little ownership position. I know you do.
I do. You know, Jim, I delegate authority. I'm not like you. I'm not, overriding every little decision.
Yeah. A control freak.
Yeah, I'm not a citizen. Yeah.
I think David Givens knows he's got one here. He had one taken away in the first half.
After reviewing the play, the receiver got his right foot down, tapped his left toe in bounds with the ball in possession. It's a completed catch at the sideline. Denver will be charged with their first team timeout.
I think that's almost how I said it. Didn't he tap the toe? Sounded like a step.
What I like too, Walt Coleman's description of what he was looking for and what happened on the field, very clear and very well done. The difference is we listened to Walt Coleman. We weren't listening to you.
Yeah, thank you. I think you had it yourself. Didn't you say you were 0 for 3 today so far?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
That was right in front of Mike Shanahan. So, I mean, this was, if you're going to challenge a play, you couldn't ask for a better view of that last one.
And it's like I said, I really believe they weren't like, hey, he didn't do it. They're looking for a way to break the rhythm of this Patriots football team right now.
Well, it'll be a first down.
Last challenge.
We're out of challenges. If you don't call 1 quarter at 3 minutes and 29 seconds a challenge in its own right. Here's a challenge on Thursday, Survivor. You know, Gary Hogeboom, the old quarterback, is still in this thing. And they played 10 years in league, survived 10 years in the league with the Cowboys, Colts, and Cardinals through 49 career touchdowns. And will Hogeboom survive on Thursday night here on America's Most Watched Network? We'll have to tune in and see. Amos Zaraway back in the backfield here for New England. Brady getting better time, but no one open. So he dumps it underneath. And that's Patrick Pass.
That was a key phrase as Tom Brady looked down the field. Look to the top of your screen. 2 rookies passing it off. Pretty nice job. I know you think he's open. There's a safety back there waiting for the throw. If it goes in the air, John Lynch is going to run over there and knock it down and intercept it.
Tom Brady pulled his late game heroics the last time he played here in Denver on a Monday night 2 years ago. He drove his Pats down the field 58 yards and won it in the last minute, hooking up with Gibbons for the winning score. And it's Gibbons refusing to go down the first 2 times he's hit. Looked away from Walls and Lynch. This was a very strange game. I know many of you will remember this. Trying to take the safety, they snap it, it goes off the crossbar. Punter said, well, we didn't want that. We wanted the safety. And after they held Denver on the free kick in the series, they got the ball back, and guess what? Brady down the field to Gibbons for the win. Gibbons is out for this play. Bethel, Johnson, and Tim Dwight in. And a flag thrown on the snap as they pancake Pass at the 33. Michael Myers on the hit. This is for Tom Brady the closest he gets to playing at home.
Illegal formation on the offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And when I say at home, I mean San Mateo, California. This is as close as he gets all year. So there are about 30 family members and friends, including his mother and father, Tom Sr. and Galen, his mother, on hand here in Denver today. Coming off a week. Saw one pass deflected and picked off by Demario Williams. Had that ball fallen incomplete, he would have had the highest passer rating last week of his career.
Tom Brady knows it's a blitz, trying to change the protection.
Steps out wide of it, fine branch. Out of bounds at the 29.
You know, one of the reasons why Tom Brady knows it's a blitz, when Denver covers those inside offensive linemen, it's almost 100%. They are going to come after the quarterback. He has a little play action fake, gets far removed from all the pressure and able to throw the football outside.
Last 2 minutes, third quarter. Patriots drove it last time they had it, led to a field goal. They're driving again. Patrick Pass with a nifty move to get free. And he has the first at the 18, running behind Ben Watson. And for those expecting to see 60 minutes, you are watching the NFL on CBS. The game between New England and Denver. Jim Nantz along with Phil Simms and Bonnie Bernstein. Denver leading it here 28-6. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following the game, except on the West Coast. Bill Romanowski, and he has a lot to say on 60 Minutes coming up.
Yeah, I'm curious to see it. We interviewed Bill Romanowski over the years many, many times. I just thought, I've never been around a guy that took care of himself so much, but we're going to find out there was other reasons involved.
First down and 10. They floated and batted away. What a great play by 5'8" Darren Williams.
Darren Williams, Jim, why he makes this play. If you're going to be 5'8", there's something you got to do then. You got to be very fast and able to react and change directions immediately, and that's what Darren Williams can do. Probably in a short burst, there's no doubt he is the fastest guy on this Denver Broncos team.
At the Combine back in February, he ran a 4.34, electronically timed 40.
He was disappointed.
And he was the second-round pick of the Broncos. He was on New England's radar screen, but the Broncos nabbed him first. Over to Ben Watson. A quiet day for the tight ends of New England after a prolific go of it last week against the Falcons.
Yeah, it really has. And you just go back to Darren Williams in that play. When you get a drive like this and you're losing that momentum on defense, you just, somebody make something happen. And what he did, knocking it down, he's put the Patriots now in a tough situation, 3rd and about 5.
That'll be 2-down territory now, no doubt, for New England.
I think so.
Closing seconds of the quarter. Quick pass, has his man, first down. That's Deion Branch again. And that'll probably close out the 3rd. Denver adds a touchdown in the 3rd.